Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead, Alison. You can get started.
Okay. Okay. So I got Shugan forwarded me some questions. For me, is from the Russian team because of the time zone, so they couldn't attend it live. So we recorded for them, and they asked for questions. I will try to share my thoughts. So first question is, we think that you are a very good 4 steps practitioner. Could you please describe the difference in your life and how you feel in your mind now comparing to when you were not really practicing 4 steps? Great question. I don't know who you are, but it's a great question. Well, actually, before I learned the seed system, I read the Diamond Cutter business book in the year of 2010. And when I read the book, I realized that, wow, finally, I found the answers to life that I have been looking for a long time. Because in my college, since my college year, I have been looking for the answers, what the reality is, how the world really works, what's the meaning of life since before 20, before I was 20. But when I read the book, I realized, oh, I finally find the answer. And about the Vinaya part, in the book, it talk about 10 good seeds, talk about being treat others kind. But for this part, I think I got this education at home from my parents and from my grandparents. So actually, it has been natural to me to try to be kind to others, try to help other people around me. For this part, I felt naturally, but it's now with a consciousness of planting seeds. So after learning the book since the year 2010, and in the year 2011, I started to learn with Geshe Michael. And at that time, I start to really consciously to use the 4 steps and to plant seeds for what I want to achieve. And I think for me, the main difference is that you feel that more security in your life. In Chinese, we have a saying, I will type it here. Okay, I type it here. In Chinese, it says 但明因果修福慧，前程不必问如何. It means that once you know the cause and effect, in Chinese, cause and effect, called 因果, maybe the Russian friends you want to know. It means if you understand the cause and effect, and you start to collect the merit and fortune, for virtue and merit, then you don't need to ask what your future will be like or your destiny will be like. So after I learned the 4 steps and I know the seeds, so I consciously plant the seeds. So I feel that even though I still don't know what my future will be like exactly, what will happen in 1 year, in 2 years, or in 5 years, but I know that my future is secured and many beautiful things will happen, even though some so-called bad things happen. I know it's because maybe because I do the 4 steps, 4 powers, so the best is ripening. So I feel that I'm more confidence in life, and I know what's happening, what's coming in my life. It's good for me, no matter it's in the form of good thing or in the form of so-called accident or bad things, but I know it's all good for me. So I don't know if it answer you, but that's my feeling. So to summarize, I feel that the main difference in my life after I use the 4 steps is that more security and hope and confidence. I do feel that I have more and more confidence after using the 4 steps more and more in my life, more inner strength in my life. Okay, let's the first question. What's the second? Okay, second question. What ideas from Vinaya do you use in your personal life and in your business? Wow, I like this question. I like my test Vinaya a lot. And also I asked some friends who are listening to this Misna course and usually we thought, oh, not many people like Vinaya test, but after collecting the feedback from some friends and students, it is surprised to see that most of them, they also love the book Vinaya. And one main reason is that I can do a lot of cultural mining from a book Vinaya. As you know that Stanley and I, we have a company called Future Diamond in Shenzhen. So we run this startup company for 4 years. It's our first year. We set up this company in 2017 in Shenzhen. And one of the main program we are developing is called CSP, China Soft Power Global Executive Training. And there are 8 modules of this program. For example, the module of clear focus meditation, the module of executive yoga, and the module of one module is called professionalism, and one module is cultural mining. We go to the Asian test to mine the ideas and apply it in real life or in real business. And that part is very special for China Soft Power program. So personally, I like Vinaya test a lot because I can mine a lot of ideas from Vinaya and apply it in real life. Also in the CSP program for the professionalism module, many times, because so far for one group of CSP is 18 months. So now we are in the middle of the second group. So for one group, we have 6 terms. So for the CSP program, every term we have one class about professionalism. So usually we will teach them the ideas. Many classes will teach them the ideas, mining from Vinaya. Do you know how the vows came from at the beginning? Yeah, the vows are made by Lord Buddha. And the main reason we have those vows is that to protect the Sangha, to protect the individual monks, to practice well and protect their growth. And also, very importantly, to make sure the whole Sangha can develop well, to protect the reputation of the Sangha. So the Sangha can develop well, can pass down. So if we give an example, the Buddhism is like a company which lasts for over 2,500 years old. But because nowadays, one company, if it can last for 100 years, we would say, wow, it's a wonderful, successful company. In Chinese, we call 百年企业, means a company or corporation which lasts for over 100 years. But if we see Buddhism, if you see it as a corporation, then it lasts for over 25 centuries. It's amazing, isn't it? And then the Vinaya, the spirit of Vinaya, I think it plays an important role in passing down the lineage because it makes sure that the monks follow their behaviors well and protects the reputation of the Sangha. And so because Lord Buddha also said that when he reached Nirvana, so see Vinaya, the vowed morality as teachers. So it's very important. So I usually, when I listen to the Vinaya test, when I was working on it, usually I can get many ideas from it for my personal life and also for running the company, for company management, because it's also about how can we run a company, protect this company, and then each individual inside, and also the reputation of the whole company, and make sure it can pass down. This company can develop well and develop stronger so it can help many people. And let me give you some specific ideas that how I usually apply it, give some small examples. And also give you some example of what we teach in CSP. As you know, many of the vows are about how not to use the money, or how to be careful about the property of the monastery, or many of the vows are about how to deal with the relationship with other, for example, for the monks vow, how to treat other nuns, right? For example, in the previous class, we have one vow about not to enter the boat with other nuns, right? Or not to sit with, for the monks vow, not to sit with other nuns in a place without covering. For example, do you remember? Yeah, and this kind of vow, I will share with you one example. In group 1 CSP, and then Geshe Michael did a cultural mining himself from Vinaya. And then at that time, we were talking about one vow, is about the nun's vow. And that vow is about the spice. Do you know, we know India, there are a lot of spice. So that vow is about, for the nun, they are not allowed to ask other men to help them to untie the rope of those spices. Because in ancient time, for those spices, we use the paper to, or some kind of grass to cover the spice. So use some rope to tie, loop the spice. So that vow is about, for the nun, they are not allowed to ask other handsome other men to help them to untie it. But why? So, and then at that time, Geshe Michael used this vow and did cultural mining to teach the CSP entrepreneurs and business owners. So at that time, because the spirit of the vow and many vows are that we need to be careful about how we hang out with other people with opposite sex. So the real application is that, as we know that in modern times, let's take startup entrepreneur or startup companies, for example. In CSP, we keep telling the students that, Geshe Michael was teaching that. Now me and Stanley, we are also keep reminding students that two main traps for startup entrepreneurs, for business owners, that usually many businessmen or women failed in these two aspects. Who can guess? First is, maybe you can type if you are listening. First is about money, how we treat money. If we pay the tax legally. The second is, if we handle the finance correctly, in a non-corrupt way. Second is about hormone, because many times people make mistake because we are controlled by hormones. So at that time, Geshe Michael used this vow and did a cultural mining and take out the essence, and then teach us that if we want to have beautiful personal relationship and beautiful business relationship, then it will be very helpful that if we can be careful when we are around people with the opposite sex. So I remember that at that time we talked the concentric circle vow. So the insight is that if we want to, the idea is that if we want for the monk not to break the vow of having sex, it's the insight. We don't want to break this vow, right? And then if we can, concentric circle is that for the outside circle is, for example, is that you go out of the monastery with a monk with good morality. Then the outside circle is that you don't go out of the monastery, which means that if you don't go out of the monastery, then it's less chance that you will, for the monk, it's less chance that you'll break the inside vow. So, which means the application is that if in our real life, even when we talk to other people, for example, if I go to see other men, and then if I imagine their partner or my partner are with me, then think about the invisible partner, then it's less chance that we were not respecting other people's partner or our partner. So personally, I have been very careful about how I treat other people with the opposite sex. So I think it will be very good for my personal relationship and also for my business. Because people will think that, well, you are an honest and decent man. So inside their heart, they will feel relaxed. And they will trust you, and they will feel relaxed to work with you, no matter man or woman. And you will collect good reputation for yourself and also for your company. Yeah. Third question from Russian Nuts. What is your favorite story from Vinaya test? Well, when I got this question, I don't know how to answer it because there are many stories in Vinaya test. So it's hard to say which one is my favorite. As you know that in Vinaya, we have a word called Lengshi, which means that incident, or maybe at the beginning, there's no such vow, but then Lord Buddha, there's some incident happen, and then Buddha, in order to avoid such thing from happening again, then Lord Buddha make the vow to make sure that it won't happen again. Okay, so many of the vows behind the vow, there's many stories behind. So, but I will share one story, famous one that you may all heard of, because I always remember this vow, this story. Geshe Michael used it to explain what's the meaning of Lengshi, and maybe you have already heard of it, but I will mention it again. It's a naughty story, but Stanley was laughing because he knew which story. It's, as we know that at the beginning, there's no vow about no drinking. But why it came into existence is because at that time, that one monk, I think he went to a village, and then one woman asked him for help. So he helped the woman a lot, and then the woman want to pay back his kindness, and then he offered him the, how do you say? He offered him the chance to. He asked him to sleep with her. But as we know, that is a very serious vow for the monk, that not to have sex. So then he refused. And then the woman said that, okay, then if you don't want to have sex with me, then how about you just have some drinks? And the woman think, oh, it's less serious to drink the one alcohol. So then he agreed, and then he did it. And then we know what happened in the end. He did both. So that's why we have this vow about not drinking. Lord Buddha made this vow. And so as from this story, we know the meaning of Lenshi, and we also know the spirit of many of the vows is for protecting each of the monks or nuns, each of the member of the Sangha, and also to protect the whole reputation of the Sangha. As we know in Vinaya, they emphasize a lot about the reputation of the whole Sangha, because we want to other people to have faith in the Sangha, so they have faith in the Dharma, then you will benefit them. So that's why there are so many vows. It's about that. Okay. And also I share with you about the story about spice, the story of spice. I think I like that one also. It's very cute because in CSP, when Geshe Michael told this vow, he acted out. I don't know if I can do it, but let me try. But he said that the essence for the nun, and then Geshe Michael would perform this way. He said, all the nun go to other man, handsome man, and then ask him, could you please help me untie this spice? I think Geshe Michael can do it very well. I'm not very great, but which means that in a flirting way, and then Geshe Michael did a really good cultural mining class just out of that class, and the result is very good. So many CSP students, many businessmen, no matter men or women, and they told us that they are very impressed by the vow, by the class, and then they have been quite careful when they hang out with other people. For example, some of them said that, okay, they will not stay in a room, in a closed room with, for example, it's a man, and then they will say, oh, I will not stay in a closed room alone with other lady. Yeah. And they will leave the door open, or they will stay in a room with transparent glass, and to protect each other, and also other people would not misunderstand, because nowadays people's mind are very crazy. So we not only need to protect our mind, ourselves, it will be also good if we can keep our morality well. We can also protect other people's mind. Okay. Last question from the Russian nuts. Did you plan Stanley? I don't know what you want to ask in which aspect, but of course, yes, I did plan Stanley. Stanley is laughing. No, I not only plan him, I also plan you, and also plan this Misna Q&A section. Well, since it's a general question, I'll try to answer. Because Stanley and I, we have many, we know each other for many years, I think for 10 years. For 10 years, and we have been studying together, serving the teaching together. And also now we are boyfriend, girlfriend, and also we are business partners. So also we are a colleague. For example, we are also Misna translators. So we have many, how to say, we help each other a lot for the past 10 years. Also, we are very good friends, and we help each other a lot, help each other improve a lot, supporting each other. So how did I plant him? The way I plant him is the same way I plant many of my good friends and teachers in my life. And actually, since I learned the first steps, my focus of seed planting actually is wisdom, with wisdom. So I know, of course, after I learned the seeds, I know we learned the correlations. For example, Miss Now, we learn a lot of all kinds of correlations. If we want money, we should plant money seed. If we want a beautiful partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, then we can accompany the lonely person and make the list and plant each of the parentheses for each of the quality. We all know that. And we know if we want beauty or we can be patient. We know all kinds of correlations. But for me, since I think for over 10 years, my focus usually is wisdom or serving the wisdom. In the first year when I start to plant the seeds, and my 4-step goal is no money, it's not personal partner, it's not business partner, it's about wisdom. At that time, I want myself to have more chances to learn the wisdom, to have great teacher. And so that's my goal. Then I start to dedicate myself to serving the teachings. So I did my best to translate as a volunteer, translate from English to Chinese, to translate Geshe Michael teaching into Chinese. And I did that, and also I help with local organizers to organize the events, to help with whatever I can. I dedicate my time, my talent, my skills to serving the teaching, to help the Dharma, help the wisdom to spread in Asia, also a lot in China. But in my heart, I know that if I have the wisdom seeds, and then if other people, because of my efforts, if other people, they can learn the teachings, they can use it to plant many seeds, to plant wealth, health, partner, nice family, etc. And then I know that in the end, all those beautiful things I will also have myself. So for me, my focus have been planting the wisdom seeds since now, from then till now. But of course, at the same time, I would also plant the money seeds. I will also plant the partner seeds. But for me, my main focus is wisdom. I know that if I have a lot of wisdom seeds, if I serve the system, if I try my best to serve the wisdom to spread, then all those things that people want will come to me automatically. And for me, it seems that it is that way. It is that way. Now I think I reach many goals naturally, and even for some dream or goal that I didn't expect, but it will just come naturally. And there are many people helping me a lot. So I think for me, it works. So to summarize, yes, I did plan Stanley. And how did I plan it? I think for me, it may not apply for everyone, but for me, I think the main reason is that my main focus of my life is to serve the teaching. Then naturally other things will just come. Hope it gives you some inspiration. Because it's Miss Na, so the way I answer here is not usually the way I answer in DCI. In DCI, maybe we'll talk about which specific seeds that I plan to plant which quality. But here I just want to show with you my deeper thought. It's true that I plant those seeds for specific quality, but I think for me the most important cause is that I dedicate myself to spreading the wisdom. For example, that's why Pure Gold was born. As you know, that we have an organization called Pure Gold Translation. And thank you, Catherine, for translating for me right now. She's a wonderful Pure Gold translator. And that we have many Pure Gold translators listening now. So Stanley and I, we have been serving the teaching for over 10 years. And we started to translate as a volunteer 10 years ago. And then later we train more translators. Now we have more and more Pure Gold translators joining. And together we are helping the teachings into Chinese. And so that's an example of how we served. Okay. Okay, so I finished the question for the Russian nuts. Hope it helps. Thank you. And we have one question. Li Wang. I will read her question, his or her, sorry, I don't know, in Chinese. And 再请教一下小平老师，如果 sorry, I think I need to translate it into English. We have Spanish translator. Thank you, Berta, for translating. Okay, I will summarize his question. His question is that if we keep planting seeds to maintain beautiful partnerships, here they mean personal partnerships, will it become an obstacle to reach freedom? Because 楞严经怎么说? Because in the Sutra of Journey to Lanka, it says that Ananda, because the Ananda is going to lose his vow, and then the story says Ananda is going to lose his vow, and then Lord Buddha is praised because Ananda has had a wife with another lady for over 500 times, and each lifetime they enjoyed each other. They had a very good marriage. Okay. Well, I will just try to share with you my own personal thinking. Okay. Well, they have different, how to say, let's talk about it from different perspective. And also there are different ways of practicing Dharma. And for example, some people, they choose to become a monk or nun, they get ordained, and they choose this way to practice Dharma. And the goal is to reach the nirvana to reach freedom. But for some people, they will choose the way not to become a monk or nun, to be a householder, right? In the Vinaya, I always say householder, just like me. Even though I'm working on the test of Vinaya, but I'm not a nun, as you can see, right? Outside, I'm not a nun. But right now, I don't know if you can see. You see outside, I'm in Singapore right now. I reached Singapore 2 days ago. And then so now I come from Shenzhen. I usually stay in Shenzhen. Our company is in Shenzhen. It's a modern city. And then now I'm in Singapore. So when I look outside, for many people, they are not monks. They are like us. They are like us. Like we are modern people. We have a job. You have a family to raise, and you may need to run your company, or you are executive in a big company. But still, I want to reach freedom like many of you. I guess that's the reason why you are asking this question. So for different people, because of their karmic connection in their past lives, so some people, they have the seeds to become a monk or nun, or they choose to become a monk or nun in this lifetime. So to help them to reach enlightenment. But for some people, they because of their past karmic connections or past karma, then they may not have the seeds in this lifetime to become a monk or nun. Like the Vimalakirti, he is not a monk or nun, but he is a great bodhisattva. He's a Buddha. So it's not one way is better than the other way. You just need to choose the way which is suitable for you. So for me, I chose this path, that the path of how to say, I have a job, I have family, and I share the wisdom in a modern way. So, and also, I'm also a practitioner of Buddhism, but it doesn't matter. So in the higher teaching, Geshe Michael taught us that actually in the secret teaching, that even for some monk, in certain tradition or lineage, if they reach certain qualification, they will also have their partner. And so in the higher teaching, the secret teaching, having a partner is the quick path to freedom. It's a quick path to happiness, ultimate happiness. In this way, you are seeing our partner as secret angel. So we try to keep a pure view, and we try to not think that our partner is an ordinary man or woman. In the partnership practice, we try to see, maybe our partner is a secret Buddha sent to us, tailor-made for us, to help us 24 hours per day, so that we could reach Buddhahood as soon as possible. By thinking that way, by keeping such worldview, every second we hold that worldview, then you will plant very, very powerful seeds for us. Then in this way, it can speed up our path to freedom, our path to enlightenment. So in this sense, if we keep planting seeds, go back to your question of the one, if we keep planting seeds to maintain a good partnership, at the same time, if we can keep a special worldview, a special view that, oh, our partner is not, maybe he or she is not an ordinary person. Maybe, remember I'm saying maybe, maybe they are sent to us so that we can reach Buddhahood quickly. Because if a Buddha want to help someone to reach Buddhahood quickly, the best way is to be by their side 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. So it's very possible that our partner is a secret angel. So personally, I think if we can keep such a special pure worldview and then to plant seeds to maintain a good partnership, then it not only will not become, so it will not become an obstacle for us to reach enlightenment. For us, it will become a facilitator for us to reach freedom. Okay. And different people choose different paths. So for us, if you are not getting ordained, if you don't want to be single for your whole life, then partnership is a very good way of practicing Dharma for us. And also, it may be the most difficult way, I can tell you. but it is worth it. It is worth it. It is difficult, but it is worth it. Okay, we have another 2 questions. Anonymous question. Hello, I don't know if you are here. What's the seeds to become translator? To translate scripture, book, and live translation. Okay, very good question. I like this question a lot. Yeah. I don't know which language you are speaking, but as long as you are bilingual or you know 2 languages, but for one is your mother tongue, but the other is, you may not be very good at it right now, or you are already good at the other foreign language, it doesn't matter. So one way, if you already are bilingual, then you can just start your career as being a translator. You can just start to translate now. It doesn't matter if you translate good or bad, just start with something simple. And naturally, your translation will become better and better. At the beginning, when Stanley and I, we are translating for Geshe Michael, at the beginning, we translate for DCI. And actually, it's not that easy because you need to understand the seeds and emptiness, but we just try our best. And then later we start to translate the long rim. And then it was very difficult for us. And then I remember that time I asked Geshe Michael, because I was scared, because I read the sutra, it said that if you translate it wrong, then you will go to hell. So I got very scared, but I was laughing. I remember I have that concern in Mexico because at that time, first time Stanley and I translate the Lamri, it was in Mexico in 2013. And then I was very concerned, and then Geshe Michael told me that, well, if you don't translate, then nobody can listen. Then it's worse karma. Yeah, so don't worry. So because it's very good seeds, particularly you are translating to spread the wisdom. Because of your translation, other people from other language can understand the teaching. So it's very, very powerful seeds. Very, very powerful seeds. So actually, I think many of the things I achieved in my life, no matter it's money or business success, personally, I think it is heavily connected to the translation work I did. Yeah, personally, I think so. I think Stanley may have the same feeling because we plant a lot of seeds by translating. And what's the seeds to become a translator? some suggestions. Maybe you can help other people to communicate. For example, you can teach the kids the language. Like if you have little kids, they want to learn. For example, if you are, I don't know which language you speak. Suppose you speak English, maybe you can teach some kids in English, or you can help other people. Or if you learn other language, you can help other people communicate to each other, help people communicate to each other. And the other things that I would strongly recommend is that you help other translators, you serve other translators. Maybe that's the best way for you to become translator. So for example, you are helping the Miss Nuts translators or helping the Pure Gold translators. And in this way, you will quickly plant the seeds. For me, as I think the way now we can translate many books. For example, all the design manuals are in China are translated by Pure Gold. And we are translating also many books in China and teachings. And I think the reason we can translate is because on one hand, we work hard to really translate it, just do it. The other way, the deeper cause is that I think since the beginning, for example, Stanley and I, we help each other a lot. So we will help each other's translation. I remember first time we translate for Lamrim. Stanley and I, we were translating in Mexico. When one person was translating, the other person is not hanging around and relax. The other person is taking notes, stand by anytime to look for the vocabulary if the other person doesn't know. So we search for the vocabulary for each other. And if the other translator forget certain words, we'll leave note to remind them. We keep this tradition. Pure Gold keep this tradition. So right now, when Catherine was translating, we have another translator stand by. Also, we have other translators are supporting Catherine right now. Some people are taking notes. Some people are doing recording. Some people are checking vocabularies or looking for related materials. So we keep these traditions for many years. Since at the beginning, Stanley and I, we have each other, and now we keep this tradition. So every time, so right now, each class for the Chinese, we have one Chinese Pure Gold translator. But behind that, we have over 10 Pure Gold translators are supporting. Actually, I think we have a group of over 30 Pure Gold translators attending and supporting for the Mishnah this time. So personally, I think it's a very good fit for you to become a translator, is to help other translators. Second question, how do you incorporate practice into daily life while you have so many projects to do and companies to handle? How do you manage? Is the question, also anonymous question. Sorry, time's up, I will answer it quickly. Well, it's true that I have many projects and companies to handle. In Shenzhen, we do CSP program, DSAT program, Pure Gold program, and I need to translate from English to Chinese and also work as Miss Nat, and also need to build college. Stanley and I, we are working on building college, and I may also need to help to build university in Sedona. So there are many projects going on. So every time when there's Mishnah, I need to work on many projects at the same time also. For me, is that it's difficult. To be honest, sometimes my schedule will be crazy. And like in the past 4 days. I travel from Shenzhen to Xiamen to Singapore in the last, I think, 4 days. Yeah, 72 hours. I travel to 3 cities, 2 countries. And so it's a very crazy schedule. So sometimes I will lose my practice, to be honest and confess. I will lose it, or it will be interrupted, and my practice will not be so good. And if particularly when I'm exhausted, when I wipe out, but I will always try to pick it up. I will always try to pick it up. And so like yesterday, actually we have very busy, crazy schedule. We just finished the quarantine, and then but Stanley I decide, oh, we need to practice. And also we need to, one practice is physically practice. So yesterday, then I decide, oh, I need to go swimming. I didn't do yoga yesterday, I did swimming. So I decided, oh, I need to go swimming so that I have enough strength and energy to do all the projects. So then I just did it. So one suggestion is that make it your priority. Make it your priority. So you can do many projects for a long time. Second suggestion is that don't divide your practice with your projects. For me, luckily, many of my projects are related to serving other people, related to spreading the Dharma, no matter CSP, Pyogo, or building college. So, or running companies. So I will try to remind myself that when I'm doing this daily management work, or handling the finance, handling the how to say, the many management problems, management issues, then even though I'm not reading a sutra, but I will keep reminding myself that actually this is the real life practice. This is the real life practice. And it is more challenging, but it can help. But if I can really practice it well in real business and real life, and then I have more capacity and experience to help other people. So this is what I have been trying to do in the past few years, particularly past 4 years since I start to run my own company with Stanley. And so it helps me a lot. It helps me a lot. Otherwise, I will just become a, how to say, regular, ordinary businesswoman, worldly businesswoman. Otherwise, I'll become a worldly businesswoman in Shenzhen. But that's not what I want to be. So even though I dress up in suit and wearing high heels and go to office to work, handling those business issues, running different projects, but inside my heart, I keep reminding myself it is not separate from practice. Actually, this is the real life practice, because in this way, I can reach out to more people or influence more people, such as we are doing CSP program. So our students are mainly startup entrepreneur, businesswoman, or men. And so I do feel that now I do have more experience and capacity to serve them better. And so that's the second suggestion. Thank you. Sorry, because time limit. I think we answered most of the questions. Thank you. Okay. One last question. I think just answering one sentence. John asked, if we often contemplate emptiness, will we fall down to the clinging of nothing exists? No. If we really contemplate emptiness in a correct way, then we will not fall. So make sure you are listening to a good teacher teaching emptiness correctly. Now you are listening to Miss Na, so we have we have very authentic and correct teachings on emptiness. So you don't need to worry about this. Just keep contemplating emptiness. It will be very good for us. Thank you all for your time and patience. That's all for today. Thank you, dear Catherine, and thank you all, Berta, and all the translators. It's amazing, Berta. I really admire your work. Thank you. Thank you. Please have some good rest. Take some sleep. Bye-bye.